Hello, everybody. This is Francesco Rulli. I'm the CEO of Puerlo. And today I'm here with Peter Singh, who is actually a good friend. We have met each other a few years ago, discussed a lot of business. Peter, if you can give us a little bit of your background and what you are up to in those days.
Sure, Francesco. Thank you for inviting me to this session. I'm happy to say that our friendship has been a very nice experience over the last several years since we've met. So my background is more or less in IT consulting and service delivery. It's been my area of specialty for the last 30 plus years. And in that time, I've worked for some very big organizations and consulted for some very big organizations. So my specialty in terms of service domains are networking, data networking, and internet services, but also voice services communication, and unified communications and contact center.
Fantastic. So, as you know, I have been in the space of artificial intelligence, conversational artificial intelligence since 2016, 15, 16. And recently there has been a lot of conversation about the use of digital twins.
Yes.
I presented you my digital twin, francescorulli.com, as well as some of the historical personages that we have brought back to life, starting from Michelangelo, which we built in collaboration with the Duomo of Florence, all the way to Leonardo da Vinci, which we're building now in collaboration with the Cesar Spa, in which you met Francesco Falaschi, representative.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts about the use case? If you were given access to this type of technology on a personal and a business level, where would you see a digital twin being valuable to fulfill, and what are the tasks that you would have in mind?
Yeah, certainly. Firstly, the idea of digital twin is really interesting. And I'll put out there, my main concern initially is I hope my digital twin, when that individual is eventually born, does become or be seen as more interesting than I am. So from the perspective of how that can make a difference in each of our personal lives, this has been an area of interest for me from probably since the time I've met you. And I've always thought that technology is taking us in the direction of needing to have personal assistants that are AI enabled and so forth, that can offload from our minds, create more mind space, but offload more mundane tasks of responding to a message or receiving a call or taking a message, and then, categorizing and distilling, what's important and what's not important. So as the technology evolves and, we see generative AI making such a worldwide impact today, and all of the amazing creative things that people are using generative AI to do, I can imagine a digital twin infused with generative AI to allow us to not only achieve some of the things I've just said, but also be a more responsive in the way one might have a personal assistant who might pick up the phone and make a call or schedule an appointment or respond to a query for simple, straightforward, easy to understand information, or schedule an appointment. So I think the use cases are vast, and it's one of these technologies like similar. The analogy for me is the iPhone. When the iPhone came out, people were sort of blown away, firstly, but then secondly, bewildered. What is this concept of developing apps, and what might I use those apps for? Once you develop a digital twin and you infuse it with generative AI and all of the other capabilities that AI is enabling these days, the use cases will just organically grow, and people will develop more creative ways of utilizing their digital twins. That's what I think.
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you. Indeed, it has been very inspiring for me to analyze the conversations and where the AI has answered in my behalf, giving a different perspective. So there's always this little aspect of how you tweak so that the answers are more in line with yourself, or if you decide, as I'm thinking that decision, to give some powers to your digital twin you might not have. For example, my digital twin speaks any language, in which I only speak English and Italian and a few words of Russian and German and here and there, right? So, but also he's saved me an incredible amount of time. fix into using the NLG version powered by ChatGPT, I'm saving about 7 hours a week. I'm using half of
That's amazing.
Indeed is amazing, to improve my AI, and the other half to enjoy sailing, training with tennis, judo. So how would you allocate the time that you would be saving with your digital twin?
So if I were to expand on the idea of once we build digital twins and they are able to be improved as we go along and be infused with additional knowledge and capabilities, the language one is amazing, firstly, and that could be, and that's key. But for us in the technology field, it's so hard to keep up with all the recent changes in technology, and the pace of change will quicken. And there are aspects of technology that I certainly don't understand well enough, but I hope my digital twin will be able to be trained in such a way to understand that technology. So that's an added benefit of having someone that can, not someone, but a digital twin that can ask a question to get to clarify the context of a query from, say, a customer or a business partner, or even from a family member, asking the right questions to put the connection into context. So when that information is fed back to myself, I can have a better understanding of the source and the context and what exactly someone is driving to. I think there's a vast amount of time that can be saved. Emails is a time crush for most people at the start of the day. Many emails are information only. Having a digital twin that can read through a stream of emails from a project team or a service delivery team that's interfacing with the customer, and then distill that down to the 2 or 3 or 4 key points, including an action that perhaps says, okay, after these 20 email exchanges, it would be good for you to schedule a call with a particular customer just to make sure, just to manage the relationship and make sure that their needs are being addressed. So email, saving time in email, when traveling, being able to have my presence be available to respond to queries, respond to questions, respond to a request for a callback or for a meeting invitation. I think those would be, really useful things that'll save a lot of time. So, in terms of if I were to put a number on that at the moment, I could imagine, 4 to 5 hours of time saving per day. And if we take 30 minutes of that time block just given to consuming the distilled information provided by the digital twin.
Very nice. Okay, perfect. Very interesting. So thank you for your contribution and perspective. And we'll publish this interview in a few days and we'll take it from there.
Sounds great, Francesco. It was my pleasure. And I look forward to the chance when I can actually stand up my digital twin and begin to infuse it with knowledge and information. I think that's a great experience.
Yeah, that would be fantastic for me to interact with it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.